Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late January 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. And we're going to get right down to work immediately. We're going to start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could take a little temperature of the energy. So let's shuffle it up one time for the lovely Scorpio collective in January 2022. My gods, talk to me. Let's see what we have for my friends. And yeah, we're just going to go through this first card super quick, then we'll get into the full tarot reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus spread with the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what type of shadow work you might want to lean into, or what shadows might pop up in this time. It should be interesting, and it usually is. So, as always, only take what hits for you. Let's get it going, though. What do we have for Scorpio, please? Let's get this first card out here for my friends. Thank you. Super quick. So there could be some complexity in whatever situations you might be going through in life. There might be more going on beneath the surface. But before we fully dive into this card, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. Also, if you're active on Twitter, my handle is @KyleofCups. Please feel free to tweet me things whenever you want. But into the reading we go. You see this lady here holding up a mask. There's multiple mirrors, there's multiple reflections, there's multiple masks. There's a Russian doll on this dresser, this counter here. There's a lot of different items and things. So this to me is usually one of two things. Either very complex situations with a lot of things going on underneath the surface, like I already said, or this could be a lot of different energies affecting you in this time. So beware, like in the coming days and weeks, there might be a lot of people trying to get your attention. There might be a lot of energies trying to like sway you in different directions. So staying even keeled is super important when we see this card. Now, it's not treacherous, it's not bad or anything like that. It's just complex and it's a lot. So we're going to get into tarot, okay? And we'll see how that links into the reading. It might not. But we're going to get these first three cards out here for you in the upright, then we'll intuitively clarify. So let's get a good shuffle in for Scorpio, please, my gods. Talk to me. We're open for some positivity this week, my friends, because last week's reading was titled Beware of This Person. So that was all about watching the company you keep, watching people that are in your circle of influence. There might be someone a little snaky snake-like, but we're hoping for a more positive, softer energy this week. But I mean, whatever cards come out, am I right? But energies are always changing from minute to minute, second to second. Let's see what we got. Thank you. Quick. All right, we have the Eight of Cups in position number 1. That is movement-based. Let's get two more. I don't want to speak on that too much. That card does get a little bit of bad reputation from time to time. Yeah, speaking of that individual we were talking about last week, we have the Seven of Swords in position number 2. Both are movement-based. Okay, we have the Five of Swords. So we're having a lot of sword energy here, Scorpio. We might be picking up some of the energy that we had last week about certain individuals. But we're going to go through this one by one. Then I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get to juicier intuitive messages. I feel like there could be a lot going on here, my friends, especially with the Eight of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Five of Swords. These are generally seen as rougher energies. Now, yes, we still have to clarify. There's much to pull. But the Eight of Cups, I see as a neutral card. Some people get a little upset with this card and they say, oh, it's somebody abandoning something or leaving something in the past. And yes, that can be true. So there could be an individual, there could be a certain behavior, something that you're trying to move past, move away from. Okay, it is action-based as well, so there could be something coming towards you. Now, the interesting thing in this deck is it depicts a big old full moon right there. And whenever I see the moon, it automatically makes me think mystery. And when we have it next to a card like the Seven of Swords, that's another mysterious card of something that's possibly going on in the dark, something you don't see going on, some unexpected stuff. But let's talk about it. The Seven of Swords, I already said, it links in with what we were seeing last week about watching the company you keep, watching the people in your circle. There might be something going on in the shadows that you don't quite see just yet. Now, Scorpio is extremely perceptive, and I proudly say that because I'm Scorpio moon. I have a bunch of Scorpio alignments. So I know firsthand that Scorpio can see through a lot of BS. So this Seven of Swords energy doesn't really last long around Scorpio. But yeah, there might be something going on that you don't quite know about yet. There might be an individual that's a little bit sneaky. They might not be all that they seem. But I'm not going to be a fear monger here because, like I said, we still need to pull more detail. On the very back end, though, we have the Five of Swords. This is a card of conflict. So the double swords, the thought-based, the mind might be going. The Five of Swords, though, could be competitive. This could be somebody who is wanting to win, willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. But if that's not the competitive feelings that I was just speaking about, this Five of Swords could be an individual that's a little bit narcissistic. So you need to watch out. That little warning that we were having about an individual last week is holding over once again. And this could just be a warning about conflict. But I want to dive deeper on all this, Scorpio. We're going to jump in and clarify. So let's shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Scorpio collective. My guides, talk to me. What do we have for Scorpio? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Okay? And if you read cards yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why this box is here. If there's any messages that you're feeling and you want to share with your collective, you just drop it down below. I don't mind. Okay? I actually encourage it. So let's go in on this Eight of Cups. There's much we can learn from each other, my friends. Why is this Eight of Cups here for Scorpio? Yeah, Page of Cups. Yeah, so we have the cup on cup, the emotional energy leading this off. Yeah, there might be some sort of communication or talk that gets a little bit heated, and you might be tempted to just like throw your hands up and abandon ship. Or this could be somebody else. So beware of this type of energy. That's the first intuitive thing that it's making me feel. Okay, now, yeah, that could be dealings with another water sign. But when I have the Eight of Cups and the Page of Cups, I'm getting some sort of back and forth where you might just be like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm out. Like, that's how someone's feeling here in the beginning with this. So beware if the Five of Swords does happen. If you do have conflict with somebody, this is somebody that's going to be gone in a cloud of smoke. Okay? Or if we're not going to go with that message, if I were to pull a secondary message for this, this is somebody making their intentions known to remove something from their life. Okay? So if it's not an individual, it could be a behavior. Like, no, listen, I want to eat better, or I want to stop smoking, or whatever it might be. We're going to move over to the Seven of Swords. But it could be something that gets a little bit heated and someone might be willing to just like split. So why is the Seven of Swords here? Thank you. Three of Cups. Yeah, you're going to want to watch out for anybody that parties it up a little too much. And it's giving me a weird vibe because the Seven of Swords and the Three of Cups, those are completely opposite types of energies. Usually the Three of Cups is celebratory, happy, super nice. But like I said, if there's an individual in your life that's always partying it up, always wanting to be in the spotlight, there is something going on beneath the surface with that individual, okay? This can also be somebody trying to be more optimistic and see the bright side of things, like trying to ignore the Seven of Swords and being in this mind state. So once again, another energy, another warning that we need to watch out for. Okay, no, everything's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. But in reality, it's this. Okay, like this should be something that you might not want to deal with. This is a rough type of energy here. And of course, threes could be third-party things. I don't like to make that the main focus of my readings, especially when threes come out. But it's good to note that. Like, it could be funky group situations too. We're going to go in on the Five of Swords. Yeah, a little sneaky there in the center. Like, no, everything's fine, even though it's not. So let's see what's up with that five. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we pull a shadow card. Okay, yeah, Hierophant in reverse. Yeah, something might come to a head. Now, some of you might just be dealing with a Taurus here with the Faith card, aka the Hierophant showing up in reverse. That's a card of upheaval. And when I see it under a card like the Five of Swords, I feel like something coming to a head. Something like finally erupting or exploding in some kind of way. So you're going to want to be aware of that in this time. If this reading's not hitting for you, check your moon, your rising, you know the deal. But with the Hierophant in reverse and the Five of Swords, I just feel something like possibly erupting, exploding, coming to a head. But it's also giving me that energy of like no nonsense, no games, no BS. So like if there is like some funky stuff going on, when we lean back to that first message and the way this looks as a whole, you might just like be in game over mode. Like, no, it's game over. This is done. It's a wrap type of stuff. So if there's some funky stuff going on, you might put your foot down in regards to it. Interesting stuff. These cards are making me feel all sorts of different things. I mean, for some of you, this could be as simple as just having issues with a Taurus. But let's go through. I'll do a quick little recap, then we'll get into the shadow cards. Scorpio, this was a bit of a rough one, okay? But it's all good. If you kindly look down in the box, in position number 1, we have the 8 of Cups with the Page of Cups in the upright. You might be having issues with another water sign. If that's not it, it could be somebody either making their intentions known that they're going to cut a certain thing out of their life, or this could be a back and forth, a heated back and forth, where someone is tempted to just throw their hands up and be gone in a puff of smoke. In the center, we have the 7 of Swords with the 3 of Cups in the upright. Beware of any individuals that might be attention-seeking, that are always the life of the party, always wanting to party. Watch out for someone that might mess around with substances as well when we have this alignment. But it was also giving me that like sneaky little vibe of someone saying, no, everything's all right. Look over here while something's happening with this hand. So beware that the warning that we had from last week is still persisting. So there are warnings in this spread. On the back end, we have the 5 of Swords with the Hierophant in reverse. Something might come to a head. So beware of that, okay? If there's something that's been bubbling under the surface, it might erupt, it might become explosive, or something might be confronted here or called out for what it is, especially if there's funky things, okay? Now, I also said it was giving me the vibe of someone who's saying enough of the games, enough of the BS, game over type of stuff, which makes sense when we look at this as a whole. So please take a screenshot of that if you'd like, so you can reinterpret these however you wish, because there's a lot going on here. Half of it's water, so there's emotion involved as well. But we're going to get the shadow card out here with the Shadowland Tarot. Let's shuffle it up one time. And it's important to remember that when we pull for shadow cards, that we look at the rougher sides of the energies, okay? And this deck does a really good job in doing that, okay? Like, this deck is illustrated in a darker way, so I'm not being pessimistic. We're just going to see what shadows might pop up for you. So let's see what shadows for Scorpio, please. Thank you. Okay. So we have the 5 of Cups popping out in the shadows. Doesn't surprise me, especially if this reading was resonating and hitting for you, because obviously it's not going to hit for every single Scorpio. But the 5 of Cups could be anybody who has feelings of sadness, depression, anxiety, things like that. It's the River of Tears card, and it's showing up in the shadows. So know that your emotions might be a little volatile in these times. We did have a lot of cups in the spread itself. This could be someone who's dealing with that sadness. I would also say it's a warning about any individual in your life that might always be in 5 of Cups mode, like someone that might always be miserable, always upset. That might be some sort of a drain. So it's something to keep an eye on, especially with the River of Tears card showing up on the back end. So prepare yourself to deal with this accordingly, that some tumultuous times might pop up, okay? Like in life, you know, it's all about the cycle, the good times, the bads, the ups and downs. We all deal with them. But it looks like in this time, like someone might be battling with a little bit of sadness, depression, okay? Literally. So Scorpio, that's what I have for you this week. As I already said, if this reading didn't resonate with you, then please feel free to check your other alignments. But don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the January subscriber surprise. For the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of the wonderful, beautiful Wizard's Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments what one of your main goals is for the year 2022. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of January, I will announce the winners in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love to you, and Happy New Year.